Time to make a candelabra for my troop.
Hello.
This is an interesting version of a candelabra I created in SketchUp. I made a full-size template to print out both parts of my candelabra. I'm using a 1/2-inch sheet of birch plywood for the backing and the medallion. I am trying to save paper and ensure symmetry by flipping the template over for the other side. The paper is very thin and it makes it hard to trace out the outline. I could have used card paper, which would have made it easier to trace and keep the paper flat against the wood. I still had to use my square to keep things straight and even. The use of tape keeps my medallion template from moving and makes an anchor point to flip it over to trace the other side. I cut the two pieces away from the sheet of plywood. Now they are small enough to cut the shapes out on my new bandsaw. It is a joy to cut curves like this when you weren't able to before. I can't wait to get a thinner blade and do some finer work. The backing has a couple of straight angles and I don't trust myself enough to make those cuts on a bandsaw. So I use a good old circular saw and a straight edge. Ooh! Hit the camera stand! What happens when I don't cut all the way through?
Doingy, 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 doingy.
Now I can cut out the rounded corners for both sides. Next I work on the little candle shelves and feet, ripping the final width for each piece out of one 3/4 inch board and cutting the final length. I try to smooth out any imperfections on my medallion with the belt sander. I sand down all the surfaces and round off all the edges in preparation for staining. The shelves and feet get a small chamfer on every exposed side. I love the look of faceted edges. Then I put an even larger chamfer on the medallion. Clean up after every task. Sawdust goes everywhere. Here I am struggling to keep the drill bit from wandering from the mark, but in the end it worked out. Just a few drill holes in the backing for the shelves and feet, and the wood is ready for staining. I know the stain looks blotchy. I was afraid of sanding through the birch veneer. Well, live and learn. I love the red color of this stain. Yummy. I used several coats of lacquer in preparation for the satin finish. I'm sorry, I didn't get good footage of my wife helping me stain the shelves and feet, but this is how it turned out, almost like bars of chocolate. When you're finishing and staining a project, you really don't want to be moving around and disturbing the air, cleaning up the shop or working on another project. You don't want the sawdust and debris and stuff landing on top of your wet pieces as they're drying. So it gets boring. Really boring.
Oh.
My wife is calling me. Now I can sand down to a silky, smooth finish. Needs more sanding. After screwing it all together, I could see how blotchy the finish was. So my wife and I decorated it with stickers from our local craft store. Now it's purty. Look how purty it is. Purty, purty, purty.
Thank you for watching my video. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already. I have more projects on the way, including a couple of Boy Scout projects. So stay in touch and remember, fun is a state of mind and only you have the power to have fun.
Yeah! Alright!